Hello and welcome to another Keymaster episode. I'm Sven Rajala and today I've got the
Tomas Gustavsson, Chief PKI Officer.
And today we're going to talk about some of the bad PKI practices we've seen with mesh certificates and the PKIs that go in with mesh. So Thomas, let's kind of dive right into that. What is some of the things you've seen this year along with me as we've been exploring more customers implementing mesh certs with PKI?
Yeah, it seems fairly obvious that they're just doing kind of quick and dirty default stuff. So the most rampant, if I would say so, from my hardcore tech perspective, are probably using EC keys, which is good, very good.
Yeah, we like EC.
Yeah,
we're definitely
exactly.
trying to help customers migrate away from RSA.
But using key encipherment as key usage, which is actually a violation against RFC.
Yeah.
Which says that key encipherment is something you can do with RSA, but you cannot do that with EC. So it's you must not have key encipherment in EC certificates. At least that's what the newer RFC says.
And I would say I've also seen where they're hard coding subject DNs in certs where you're stuck with a particular country, an organization, for instance.
I guess that, if you never look at a certificate and everything is just handled transparently, it's going to work.
I guess, but from the audit compliance side, if I was an auditor, I'd kind of be like, why are we issuing C equals US when we're in Australia or South America somewhere?
And why does this say Acme organization, Acme Limited or something, why in your Keyfactor? Right?
Yeah.
So where do these certificates come from? Oh, the Acme Inc. in the US, but we're totally somewhere else.
And then another one we've seen is this having to issue Sub-CAs to the cluster. I mean, I think that's a very interesting and poor practice. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the whole idea, right, is that the cluster nodes have certificates to communicate back and forth.
Yeah.
Then the Sub-CA, at least from our kind of more high security or compliance perspective, should be in a different security domain.
Or how about using an HSM to protect the keys and not have them in software on the cluster?
Yeah,
that's maybe a good idea.
HSMs, at least if you want to be compliant with anything, HSMs for CAs have traditionally been a must.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe rules are, getting softer these days, but it's still easy to copy key stores or soft files from a
especially
file
when it's just a
system.
PEM blob in there.
And then, especially, considering as well that typically these Sub-CA certificates, I mean, theoretically, you could add name constraints in there to make them at least limited to that and to not extend your whole root trust there. But we haven't seen that.
No,
so
not really,
typically these Sub-CAs are opening up your root CA to anything.
And then I guess another one we've seen are some customers come and asked about short lifetime Sub-CAs where they want to do a 3-day Sub-CA. And my thoughts kind of been on that. Why? What value does that have if you have to rotate a Sub-CA out every 3 days? Why are you doing that and just keeping keys still in software? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I guess it feels good as there's a generic kind of move towards shorter lifetime of certificates when we talk about TLS or
I totally get that for the client. It makes absolute sense for session-based, but Sub-CA?
Yeah, I mean, probably feels good to extend that to the Sub-CA, but it's definitely questionable what value it brings. It's more like if you don't have any other way of ensuring trust in that Sub-CA, well, what can you do? Well, you can limit the lifetime.
Yeah, to me it would seem a lot easier if you could just go straight to a CA instead of having these middle CAs in there, or even to leverage an integration with Cert Manager to plug into an external issuer, for instance.
Yeah,
to me, that seems like a much cleaner approach to just leverage Cert Manager with an external issuer.
That can follow company best practice or company policies, including separation of domains, separation of roles, and using hardware security modules and such.
Exactly.
To make it as hard for a malicious attacker as possible.
And just follow general best practices of PKI too. I mean,
which typically makes your audits and compliance a
lot easier. So that's what we've got for mesh certificates and some of the things we've seen that are not so great. And we look forward to doing another episode of Keymasters and having you attend. So see you in the next one.